Brave Exvius. That's not true. I'm
He's
just pumping the brakes on it because I've spent way too much money on it over the years, and that's been especially true lately. And I've just had a really hard look at kind of, I guess, you know, what has led to this point in the game. Why does it feel so crappy?
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, Mars, why you feel this way. Start making content. You feel external pressure to keep up with everything. It's how it is. It's how it is. You got to combat that. Listen. You got to realize that the pressure, even though you're pressured, you feel that external force, that peer pressure. You got to combat it. You know, it ain't true. It's not real pressure.
For me personally, and you're allowed to feel differently, but for me personally, I'm just not enjoying the game right now. So this video is just aimed to kind of let you know why you're not seeing as much Brave Exvius content. My drive for it has gone through the floor. So the first and probably the biggest problem for me that I'm having with Final Fantasy Brave Exvius right now is that there are too many units and too little content. Okay, there's not a lot going on in the game in terms of content when you compare it to the amount of new units that we've had coming out. And now the breaking point for me realizing this is when they're releasing 5 new 7-star units on a banner with a total of 9 limited time 7-star units. I'm sorry, but that's I can't not say anything about this anymore.
Is he talking about the DQ stuff? Like tomorrow, like yesterday?
How things have changed over time so that you understand why this is a complete frustration to me as a player who's collected a lot of units, who's played for a very long time, who's spent money on these units. To just see it go from, you know, where we started to where we are now, it is kind of frustrating. So let's take a look back at 2 years ago. Okay, 2 years ago, these units right here are the 9 units that were released over a period of 3 months. Okay, so in 3 months you expected 9 new units, and of these units, 2 of them were limited time. Now, of course, 2 years ago, we had crappy banner rates. I think we were still in the 1% banner, or the 1% rainbow era, with 1/2 of 1% banner rate, which was atrocious at the time, right? You know, a 0.5% chance of getting a banner unit that you're pulling for, terrible. But at the time, there was only 1 banner unit to pull for, and that was pretty good. And split rainbow banners were pretty rare. And across that 3 months, 2 years ago, we got 9 new units, and in that same amount of time, we also got 5 trials. And for sake of
all right, he might clarify this, but I'm gonna pick this apart right now. I'm pick this apart right now. So we got 5 trials here compared to 9 units, and I'm actually gonna. It's not really picking apart. I'm gonna make it seem even more in his favor about what he's talking about, because the only real trials here, there's only 3 real trials. It's Marlboro, Sheraton, and Bloody Moon. This dragon thing isn't a real trial. It's not a real trial. This is like this is like an event. This is like a raid battle boss. That's not a real trial. It's not an actual trial. And Enrays or whatever isn't. I don't even call that a real trial. It's a trial fight you can go fight right now. But it was such an easy boss. It was like an introductory thing for the 10-man. So like there really was only like 3 actual bosses instead of 5. So that's a thing. 9 units. Yeah, there's a, let's see, we have, where's the other Halloween unit? Oh, so we had a Halloween unit, Katy Perry collaboration. We had 2 collab units. Lauren, though, this was a unit Global got. It shouldn't have been a unit. It was kind of done in our favor, though, because she was a part of the EX reward system. So you should have, what is it, like $200, $300 to get a Lauren? So that was a unit added to our pool. Katy Perry was a unit added to our pool. And then we had this Gordon Lord Sakura added as a character, but all of these units were like on normal time frame banners, except for Katy. Oh, I called her Katy Perry, didn't I? Ariana Grande, my bad. Ariana Grande and Lauren were kind of thrown in there, so it's like 7 to 3 instead of like 9 to 5. But you know, or you can compare it 9 to 3, whatever, in this specific time frame.
Specificity, this compares about mid-August of 2017 to mid-November of 2017 as well.
$500
so
Lauren,
we were not drowning in trials. That was you know, maybe 1 to 2 a month, which is not.
And this was back
great
in the
my
day too,
opinion.
which
We
was
had
definitely
better
an
eras,
issue back then.
But like 9 units,
now
super
not so much.
manageable. If you diffuse that across the number of trials that came in that time, there were plenty of opportunities to try out new units, which was fine. And I think during that time we were all asking for more content, and luckily we had Rumble of Malboro to keep us busy, because you know that was a tough fight, and it was awesome. It was cool. So even though we didn't have tons and tons of content, we still had kind of enough proportionate to the units that we had. Now, if we fast forward to a year later, if we're talking about mid-August 2018 to mid-November 2018, this is kind of where we were hitting a little bit of a sweet spot with the game, where not only did we have a bunch of content, but we also had a whole bunch of units as well. We had, in those 3 months, we had 21 new units released, okay? And many of these were on split banners as well. We still had single unit banners, we had split unit banners, but across those 3 months, we had 21 new units released, so more than double what we had the year before. But the other thing that was more than double from the previous year was the amount of content. We had, you know, still a
wait. The whole year? This isn't a whole year. I'm confused. I don't know what time frames he's talking about here, which is important to me, because obviously we didn't get 9 units in 1 year. We got way more than 9 units in 1 year. We also didn't get 21 units in 1 year. You know, in a 3-month span. Did we look at Brachius with the party? Whoever this guy is down here. Oh, you guys can't see. You got, oh shit, I suck. I'll put it over here. This was a 10-man. This was a 10-man. This is a 10-man. This is a 10-man. And this is a 10-man. We didn't get. Oh, is this Odin? Oh, that's Odin. So we got 4 10-mans in 3 months? Maybe we did. Maybe I'm misremembering. But then we also got Ansanola, Omega, Scary Doll Lady, and Europa in 3 months. Also 3 months for all of this, so we'd had Halloween. Wait. All right, anyway.
Antonella, we had a couple of trial level espers that came out. We had a couple of Chamber of Arms. We had a couple of legitimate trials, like with Omega or with Calcabrina. We had a lot of stuff to do.
Machina?
And so across that 3 months to have 11 trials was really awesome. And that was something that helped propel me wanting to acquire units. It had me wanting to play the game. It had me wanting to make videos, because there was always something to do that wasn't just, you know, here's the new.
Oh, I know why there's a discrepancy. Yeah. I figured it out. That's why there's a discrepancy, because back here, the first comparison was back when we had single banners. This was 1% rainbow rate, 1 unit on a banner. This is 3% rainbow rate, 2 units on a banner. Oh shit. This is that's the future. This is 3% rainbow rate, double unit banner. That's why it's like doubled a little bit. And then there was like an extra thing thrown in there somewhere. Oh, VP, right? VP had like 15,000 units on it. Okay.
We had more than enough to play, and I loved it, and it was so fun. Now here's where we currently sit with this week now. And this compares from the most recent mid-August 2019 up until mid-November, you know, this week with the DQ11 event. We have 30.
All right, before he gets into this, 31 instead of 21. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and blame JP for a lot of this. There's so many DQ units. How many units are there in DQ combined total? Like 10? Like this event has like 10 units or something stupid? 8 or 9? 10? I think it's like 9 or 10. There's 3 on the banner, and then there's 3 characters on each box, so 9. Yeah, there's 10. There's 7 heroes and 3 villains. Yeah, so the DQ is 10 on its own. JP, this is a JP thing. JP also has a content drought, so let's continue.
1 units that have been released in the past 3 months, okay? And as far as trials go, we've only had 7. So the proportion of units that have come out has increased substantially, and the number of trials that we've received has gone down. So in terms of playable content to get excited about,
we don't have 10
there's
mans.
not much there
10
by
mans are easy.
comparison to the number of units that are coming out.
Also, the amount of actual trials went up, because before he was adding in espers, which are not trial. You could call them trial fights, but they're not. They're not nearly as hard. And obviously, when we run out of espers, especially in this time period, there's no new espers to do. We've done, this last 3 months. There's no Asura. There's no Anima 3-star or anything like that. So we can't have those anymore because they don't exist. Whereas before, he was able to lob them in there, which is a thing.
Now, this to me is a problem because it then shifts the focus of the game away from content and makes it more about units, which is kind of aggravating because we have more actual trials to play it against. There's no reason to pull, and this is kind of a tie-in
New type
for
of trial.
the video that I made a while back. I will link it in my description for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But I talked a long time ago about power creep, and I think this was before our first 7-star trials. It may have even been before 7 stars in general. I don't remember.
It's just not in this time period.
But it was talking about the nature of
he didn't put Black Dragon in here.
Power creep is actually 2 different things that you consider. There is the power creep of units, and then there's the power creep of content.
You can get demonetized for that heal.
Which represents, how difficult content is over time. Now, on the graphic that I'm showing here first, this shows kind of, how power creep has historically worked with our damage dealers, for example. And
that's what I tell you guys when it's time to pull. Like, if you can beat everything, you don't need
I'm just giving you a quick synopsis of this video. You can watch the whole thing. Link in the description if you want to.
I know, poor Axstar, dude.
For the most part,
I don't know why they didn't buff him.
Just goes steadily upwards, okay? And with some power-defining units, you get more incremental increases in power, so you'll get little spikes in power. And luckily in global we haven't seen major power spikes, but what we have seen in global is kind of
where's the Xeno
progression of
it's content, like Xeno up here,
and that is with this blue line, okay? And content doesn't get more difficult week over week. It only gets more difficult when a more difficult trial is released. And back at this time, I was comparing stuff like Gilgamesh and Beast of the Dark to Aigion to Scorn of Malboro to Venomous Vines. And, that was kind of the increment of content challenge increase. And when you compare the two between your power creep of units versus the difficulty of content, you find out that it's the content that determines whether or not you should pull, not necessarily whether a unit is stronger compared to other units. You don't have to beat other damage dealers with new damage dealers.
No, you just gotta beat the trial.
That's not
that's all you gotta beat.
You need to beat trials with units. And so at the end of this video, I had made a couple of points. So the first point that I had wanted to make in this original video was that the trials determine the strength of the unit and not a calculator. And the problem that we have right now is that we released 31 units in the space of only 3 months. You don't have adequate number of trials to go ahead and validate that many units that are coming out. You literally just flood people with units that they don't need. And then, of course, the other point that I made at this time was that one unit being stronger than another doesn't make the older unit weak. And because of how many units that we've had come out in such a short time, power creep hasn't really accelerated.
You guys already know what I'm going to say.
Among our damage dealers.
You already said it before.
Since CG Lightning's release, we haven't really had any damage dealers kind of break out of kind of that ceiling that she set. Okay, there are some that are slightly better, but not so much better that like you'll notice a huge difference if you were to upgrade. And so we've had months of having damage dealers that are basically all on the same power level with only a few trials to kind of test whether or not you actually need to upgrade. And if you had any one of the damage dealers within that tier, you didn't need any others because the content didn't require it.
Yeah, well, no, now, point.
One of the things that I made as an additional note to this is that the hardest content accounts for 0.1% of the total content of the game. If you're stuck, enjoy the other 99.9% of the game. And that was a point that I made to kind of help people, feel like, hey, you know what? If you feel like, power creep's out of control with
I talked to him about something similar to this.
You want the newest, hottest toy, you're feeling like you're missing out. Don't worry about it. There's 99.9% of the other game to play. And that's kind of the part of the game I'm tired of playing. And so for me, that's why when we don't have trials, I get kind of bored. I get kind of frustrated. There's so many units and so little for me to actually do with them. And the bottom line that I had made in this other video was that if the difficulty of the content does not elevate, or there is an insufficient amount of challenging content, then there is no need or much desire to acquire
That's a plus for you
units.
as a player,
And
though.
This is where I've arrived there now.
That's a plus for a player, though.
Okay, we just don't have a need for it. There's
not
no
needing to
need
pull is a
to
good
pull for
thing.
new units because the
Not needing to pull is a good thing. What the
you
fuck?
can ask a lot of people who play on the JP side. I think Emperor from that we just got, the series boss battle trial, that is one of the hardest trials that will ever
Would you want to be forced to pull for new units?
Other series boss battles that come after that are easier, by a lot of accounts. There may be a few fights that are harder, but many people that I have talked to agree that the Emperor is the hardest, and stuff that we're going to receive for the next 9 months is generally
I'd love a game
easier.
where I could play with whoever I wanted to, because they're cool.
There is no point.
Not because
maybe your damage requirement's going to be a little bit higher, but it's really not. We have people on the JP side who are clearing content with units like Bart's, who at this.
All right, so I'm gonna take personal offense to this, Mars. You and I you already know. You may have even already talked about it in your live stream. I don't know how you're making this video when you already know that Ultimate Weapon is definitely a jump power. Definitely a jump. Ultimate Weapon, series bonus boss battle, 6,600 defense, stacking damage mitigation, 280 million HP, can't break his defense. You better fucking have some damage. There you go. Like, how you gonna say that there's no new series bonus boss battles? All right.
Point are many months old.
Also, not needing to pull for new units is good. It leaves the space open for. It's good for players, bad for the company. He's not hard, but you need damage. He's talking about needing new units to do more damage. Good luck beating Ultimate Weapon with, I don't know, like Esther or something. Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14. Good luck beating that boss with like someone who can do like 5 million damage a turn or something. Old man dude. But yeah, not needing to pull for new units, that's a plus for us. That's a downside for the company. Let's pull for whatever unit we like because they're cool or we like the design or whatever. That's a plus. So I don't count that as a negative.
So it just kind of shows that there's no reason to pull. And for me, I feel that very deeply. I've gotten to the point where I don't
3 stars,
feel
4
like
stars.
spending. I don't want to spend.
That was me.
I only plan on spending maybe on some of the stuff that I
worth
pre-planned on, like maybe Madame Adele or CG Warrior of Light. But that's it. Like for me, it's over until this condition is met. That the difficulty of the content needs to elevate, because there's an insufficient.
You already know it's
going
going to. You already know it's going to.
Unit. Now that being said, that's kind of a long tangent from. You better. Number one. Point number two is that trials are beaten before they arrive. So even when we do receive trials,
all trials are beaten.
One of my biggest frustrations is that it's beaten.
This is a moot
within
point.
Minutes of it arriving in global, like within minutes, as soon as the server goes up.
Yeah, because we're smart players, bro.
Clear videos,
we
got
fucking 4,000 IQ
clears
in global.
A whole bunch of different strats, and this isn't me like digging at people who beat it. It's just the nature of the production cycle, okay? Because even JP
new ones
often will struggle with trials. And
if you like when a new trial comes out, I've seen like the last couple of trials like on the Reddit or wherever, one of the Discords. Here's my team comp, I beat it, and it's like a half an hour later. So like I don't agree with this stuff at all. Like people beat that stuff right away in JP2. I have no like people beat that stuff right away in JP2. I don't know where this point's coming from.
Do come to us are insubstantial.
And no matter what trial shows in global, we beat
prepare
it
for so
too.
heavily in advance. And if you compare all of the
I don't
trials
think
that
it's a
we've
problem
received
either.
versus all of the global exclusive
We're not rating.
trials we have in the 3 years that this game has been around, we have only received 6 global exclusive trials. And yeah, some of them are not even new trials. Like the Torturous Trio is 3 old trials stacked up with each other. Rumble of
Bro, if you're gonna count Shadow Bahamut as a trial, listen, Marlon, I'm gonna put you on blast. If you're gonna count Shadow Bahamut as a trial right here, and not count it as a global exclusive trial, up here, the Shadow Bahamut was a global exclusive trial when it first came out, man. You better add that motherfucker right there, right now. You better go and get it. You gotta be consistent. You gotta get that. That was for Roberta. That was the Roberta trial. You gotta be consistent. I see you.
Rumble of Malboro was
a terrible
tons
design.
of fun because it was something.
It was
you.
No. So all right. So I see where this is going. Rumble of Marlborough was the worst trial ever designed in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, second maybe only to Bloody Moon. Rumble of Marlborough was only difficult because they designed a trial that you literally did not have the option to beat in the correct way because those units didn't exist yet. There was no AoE magic cover tanks. There was nothing that we needed. There was no Mistea. There was nothing of the nature that you needed to beat Rumble of Marlborough. While Rumble of Marlborough was designed literally to punish you in ways that you could not deal with yet. It had the first time where it was like a attack that did physical damage, but it was a magic type attack. That's the first time that anything like that ever existed. We literally didn't have the tools to beat it in a proper way. The only real way to beat it when it first came out was to just kill it. It was literally just kill it forehead, take 2 Trans-Terras and shove it down there, do way too much damage and kill it. That was it. Rumble of Marlborough was a terrible trial, and the only reason it took anyone any amount of time to beat it was because it was literally designed to not be beat. That is not good trial design. That's terrible trial design, and I never want to see anything like that ever again. It's awful. It's awful trial. Never again. So never, ever point to Rumble of Marlborough as being a good trial. You want to see more of it. Never. Because then you end up with shit like Hasuko. That's also bad. Score, oh, my MP's gone. No, it's not good trial design. It's terrible.
Strategize and synergize and figure out a way around super tough mechanics, and if you manage to do it, it was a real accomplishment, and it was something worth sharing. But we really haven't had content.
Yeah, it was a super good accomplishment when Dyer was like, "Here's my strategy for Rumble of Marlborough. I brought 6 Trans-Terras and just shit on the fight. Super strategy."
That ever since then. I do think the Chamber of the Vengeful, like Emperor Supreme and the Lantern Trial and Exterminator Extraordinaire Trial, I think those are all really good. But fundamentally, they're designed to be repeatable, which means they're not necessarily
fixed team trials is going to be amazing. I think
ahead of where our current meta kind of is. So that's definitely an element of frustration that
strategy with the dollars.
We know how to beat trials, and we know everything about trials before they even arrive. And that's with, a lot of informed players. I know a lot of people go in blind, and I choose to as well. A lot of times, but the bottom line is that there's nothing. There are no plot twists in the story. We know what to expect close to a year in advance. So that
it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant though. That the point that we know what to expect from trials in advance is irrelevant because we beat those trials just as fast as any global original trials, and JP also beats those trials when they're brand new just as fast as we beat our trials that are global original trials when they're brand new too. Like everyone beats the shit right away. Everyone beats the shit right away. So like it doesn't matter that we have foresight on JP trials because we beat the trials we have foresight on just as fast as the ones we don't have foresight on, and JP beats all the trials that they don't have foresight on as fast as anyone else. So like, it doesn't matter.
The other fundamental reasons why I've just really been struggling to play Brave Exvius.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't need to farm more King Mog events. I really don't. I really don't need to summon more raid coins.
I don't either.
I really don't. I don't need more story events. I just don't need. I don't need that stuff. And when there's no other trials to supplement it or make it more interesting or make it more necessary.
You already know that stuff's coming though.
For me, there's no point to it, and which is too bad because I love the game, and I look forward to when kind of things improve or things get spiced up because I know they announced a lot of stuff at the live stream this month. But here's kind of number 3 for me is that if something has not made it to the game, it does not exist to me. I know they've said so many things that, oh yeah, we'll bring
That's
Rico
fair.
7
Yeah.
star. Oh yeah,
No, I
we'll
agree
bring
with this.
expert missions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll
if
bring
it's not
story
here,
reset. Oh,
it
yeah,
doesn't
we'll
exist.
Bring this and this and this and this and this, and there are so many things that they've talked about doing, like CG Dwayne or like other.
It's on all of them.
Like,
Sniper.
Most popular
Sniping?
voted collabs. They talked about like Parasite Eve last year. They talked about 4-star trials last year. All of
That's
these
what I
things
do
that
too, Sven.
over a year announced and just haven't come to the game. I'm sorry, but if you announce it in the live stream, I don't believe it's going to exist until it's in the game. That's something.
I mean,
that,
units are
for
different
me, is
than content,
extremely
though.
aggravating because, you know, I try not to hang up too much on stuff that we don't have yet and that we've been promised, because it's like, they'll get
All right,
there.
there's a difference. So unit stuff I agree on, because unit stuff never has dates. Unit stuff never has dates. Content though has dates. Didn't they say fixed trials are coming out in December, the first one or something like that? And then early like January or February or whatever is Dark Visions. Like that stuff has dates. Like Rico Rodriguez sometime maybe one day is obviously is I agree with you on. But it's totally different than we're getting new trials.
When they get there. But that was easier to say 9 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago. But now that it's been a year since a lot of those things were announced, it's not a joke anymore. It's not.
I hope so. The 3 and 4 star trials suck anyway. It doesn't matter.
So for me, it's like,
I don't care if they don't bring them over.
But I'm not gonna get excited until
I know you guys
see
think they're
it in
cool.
the
They're
game.
not.
And
you
that's
just go in there, you shit on
a
them.
lot of that stuff that kind of just has to be followed up on. Because
I mean, he's right about like stuff that needs to come out. If you're gonna bring something out, bring it out. But for the question for 3 and 4 star trials, the reason like I stopped talking about them, I don't care, and people are like, what characters are gonna be good for 3 and 4 star trials? Like all of them are, because the 3 and 4 star trials are literally designed to be beaten by 3 and 4 star characters that don't have TMRs. So if you just have TMRs or a super, you're just gonna go on there and just fucking. You can take like Agrius with like true dual wheel and just kill it, just kill it, dead, got him, easy. Like it like they're so irrelevant that it doesn't even matter. Yeah,
for example, Rico Rodriguez was something that I pulled on specifically because they said we're gonna get a 7-star.
Oh, he's personally burnt. He
came out before
he's personally
7
burnt
stars
by
released,
this.
Okay, and
he's got a dog in this
yes,
fight.
Yes, you'll get 7-star Rico Rodriguez. You can pull for him, no problem. And I can get over Explorer Eileen not getting 7-star, okay, because she came out before 7 stars. They didn't give that same promise, but it's like, come on. Some of us don't care about 30 unit quarters. We don't care that there are 30 units coming out in this month. There's like that one unit that you didn't deliver on.
All right,
and that
I'm
gets
gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go back, Martin. I'm gonna have to snip this in the bud right now. Snip that bud before that flower grows. Listen, you cannot keep pointing back to the one time ever we've ever had 30 units in one month. Okay, all right, with this DQ11 shit. All right. That banner existing on its own. This is not this time, so this is 7 extra. But it's extra units just because that banner is garbage. That's all. That's all that is. We had this is a time period. This is not average for where we are nowadays. This is the time where we had the stupid DQ11 banner, the stupid Primrose banner, and I think that's it. The 2 collab banners make this number go way higher than the average. It's like way higher. It's definitely an outlier to what's going on here. So, I mean, you can cut this number down to like 20, 25, 26, right? Because, there might be 7 units on the DQ11 banner, but if that banner wasn't there, we'd have another banner in its spot. So it's not 7 extra, it's like 5 extra. In the Primrose banner and stuff, like the other ones, if you let those slide, if you just cut 5 units here, you go down to 26, and then you'd be at 26 to 7. And then the other thing is that counting like espers as trials is not a thing. Trials aren't espers, so this should get cut by 3 automatically, cut down by 3 automatically. And then we have 10-man trials, which at this time, all of these 10-man trials were jokes. They were all jokes. Espers are not trials. These 10-man trials are not trials. So this, honestly, if you just cut the espers alone, that drops that down to 8 trials to the 7 we have right now. And if those 10-man trials are cut out because they were jokes at this time, we had 7 stars. Like, those trials were an absolute garbage. Then you'd have Omega, Antinola, Europa. You'd have 4 trials. You'd have Omega, Antinola, Europa, and Evil Baby Monster. You'd have 21-4 here versus our 26-7, and all of these are actual trials. So, I mean, I see your point with units and stuff, but like, these are 2 snippets, and this is definitely an outlier. You know, we're adding units and looking at a time period where these units, we're looking at a time period in this instance where there's way more units than normal. And then we're looking at a time period in this instance and counting things as trials that like really aren't. You know, obviously they're a trial, they take energy to go in there. Are they harder than raid bosses and stuff? For sure. Are they actually top tier difficult? No, dude. The only Esper I think that's ever been like moderately difficult for a lot of people. Like every trial is hard if you don't know what to do. You can take your units in naked, right? But like Leviathan, you could literally cheese that fight. Odin, you could take a friend Roberta, jump on it one shot. Same thing with Leviathan. And then I think was Roberta out yet? I don't know. Alexander. A lot of people try to do Alexander slowly, and it didn't work out too well for them. But like, it's whatever. These 10-man trials are also stupid easy. So,
tiny reason number 4 that I haven't been playing Brave Exvius as much because I've been playing Last Claudia. Okay, and if there's any doubt in anybody's mind that I'm
been
not
doing it all wrong here, Kai. I have a guide if you want to
all
go check it out.
That I had allocated for
you can find it on YouTube.
Has gone into Last Claudia instead. So now I have every arc in the game. I have most of the units, and I'm enjoying the heck out of this game because there's actually something to work towards. And I'm not going to pretend like it's
shiny.
Game,
it's the new shiner.
I do plan on making more content around it because if you like Brave Exvius like I do, you like it because it's pretty, you like it because it's fun, it's nostalgic. You get invested in characters.
I can get behind.
Last Claudia is
Last
kind
Claudia,
of the same
there's
thing
not a whole lot to do.
A lot of us on the Discord are really enjoying it.
I haven't logged in.
If that's
forever.
something you want to take interest in, you can join in the Discord and play some Last Claudia yourself, and we can help you there if that's something you want to get started with.
Yeah, I have one.
I plan on making more content for that because I don't want the channel to just kind of go defunct. I don't want it to just be me. Okay, well I don't want to make anything because Brave Exvius isn't. I'm not
so we'll do a recap
now.
At the end.
No, that feeling comes and goes with Brave Exvius. This isn't new. I felt this way before and come back from it. So I'm confident things will improve, and there will always still be new FFBE content to look forward to. But I owed it to you guys to kind of explain where I'm coming from, where my head's at. Why you're not seeing as much polls or why you're not seeing as much content. I wanted you guys to know because you've been such amazing support, and I've really appreciated each and every one of you on my journey on this channel.
It's not a clone.
It's meant so much to me, and I look forward to making more content. So thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. Please let me know if you felt any of these similar experiences for yourself. Tell me if you feel the same way down in the comments below, and I'll see everybody in the next video.
All right. So recap. So he made some good points.